Alright, so I wish people would, could be a little bit more, human, I guess. Um, because it's just really odd, I guess you want to say, when, like, you see, like, an accident happening, you know? Like a train wreck that you can't take your eyes away from, and it's odd because a lot of people will just sit there and like stare and watch and pull out their phones and stuff like that. And like, so I was on my way home and I passed by a McDonald's and I saw this guy at the bus stop, puking all over himself and rolling around, and he looked homeless. And I never seen someone drunk roll around and vomit over themselves like that. So I immediately knew that, it was something else. Like, this guy was probably overdosing on something, or, maybe he was having some sort of weird bodily response to whatever was going on inside him. I don't know. And so it's just like, I see all these people, just kind of standing there, just with their phones out and just kind of looking at him, like, and it's like, what the fuck, it's like is anyone gonna do anything about this? Like, this is not like some sort of like circus show here. It's just like, this is a man who is possibly dying. He looks like he's overdosing on something, and everyone just fucking stands around like it's this big fucking circus. And I was bothered by that, so I ran inside to the McDonald's that was right next to the bus stop, and I stopped the manager inside there. And I'm just like, well, of course, because I didn't have my phone on me at the time, but I said to him, I'm like, someone's out there at the bus stop, and he's rolling around and barfing all over himself and making really strange guttural sounds. You might want to call the police. And he just kind of turns to me and smiles, and he's like, nah, that's not our responsibility, you don't gotta worry about that. And it's like, are you fucking serious? I know it's not my fucking civic duty to sit there and act like I'm obligated to do something about this sort of thing, but it's just the most humane thing that I can possibly feel or think of. It doesn't matter if he's on the property or not. It matters if you are a human being enough to fucking do something about it. If you really can take 5 minutes out of your day to call the police, and I guess I can understand that, being that a lot of us sort of are these spoiled, rotten people, and not saying that the manager who I spoke to is a spoiled, rotten person, but it's just like, people really, really don't want to go out of their way for anything, I guess is what I'm saying. They really don't want to go out of their way to possibly save a life, simply because it's not their job. It's not their obligation. It's not on their property. They don't have to do anything about it. And I think that that's just a part of our culture in Western society, is we're ignorant. We're watching the TV all the time. We're playing video games, doing all sorts of things that are non-productive towards society, eating bad foods, taking a lot of bad drugs, and smoking and drinking and fucking, even if you want to throw that in there, is to the point to where we bathe in a sort of debauchery that really strips us of having any human components to us, or at least feeling like there is, a concept of humanity in us. But yeah, that sort of thing just bothers me. You know, it's just a show to everybody else. They're pulling out their phones and, just kind of, it's not my problem. But I called the police anyways as soon as I got home, and I explained everything to them, and thankfully someone else called before I could even get to the phone. They told me that someone else had called earlier, and so maybe the guy's okay. Hopefully he's okay, but I don't know. Some days it's just the way we are is just no one is stoic about anything. It's just this sort of me first culture where it's just like you gotta satisfy me, and you gotta satisfy my needs, maybe materialistically or intimately, whatever way possible. And it's just like this is where I kind of step back, and I think people don't get the bigger picture. It's not about pleasing yourself. No, it's not about pleasing yourself. And I think the quicker you realize that, the quicker you are to becoming grateful for being alive. There's people on the streets who are more grateful than millionaires, and that's how they sustain their happiness, is by having gratitude. And some people show absolutely no gratitude, and it's weird. It's one of the things I've realized throughout the coming years of my life is that I've been very ungrateful, and that has constructed a lot of my own sadness and depression, is not having that level of gratitude. And if you don't have it, you're not going to be happy. You have to be grateful, I think, at least. So it's something I think most people can work on, or need to work on, is having gratitude towards life. But when it comes from the cynic approach, a lot of people really don't want to take that route. And cynicism is a very hard thing to get over. Trust me, I've dealt with cynicism for a number of years in my life. And the thing about cynicism is it becomes cool at a point. It becomes cool to be negative and to think that everything is fucked. It becomes cool, and that's the problem. So it's always interesting to make these observations and open a few doors in your mind and think about things differently, and always realize that a lot of the depression in your life, a lot of things that don't calculate into what you want or desire, are because some people just sabotage themselves mentally, and they don't even know it.